Beautiful boxing fans, I come to you today with a question. Now, before we get into it, please let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is what I love, ladies and gentlemen. I love to read your guys' thoughts. The question is this. On September 13, can Terence Crawford actually hurt Canelo? I'm not saying that, I'm not asking if he can knock him out. That's another question. But can he actually hurt him? Before I get into it, please let me know in the comments. Love your guys' opinions. Absolutely love them. And when it comes to opinions, there is no wrong opinion, ladies and gentlemen. So please don't be shy and let me know your opinion. Now, in my opinion, when you talk about this incredible, unbelievable matchup, when you talk about such an iconic fight with high stakes, with two unbelievable fighters. I mean, Terence Crawford, one of the greatest southpaws, one of the greatest switch hitters I have ever seen in my life. And Canelo Alvarez, one of the greatest pressure fighters you will ever see in your life. But the question is this, can Terence Crawford actually hurt Canelo? Let's think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's actually think about it. From the outside looking in, the simple answer is, based on what history shows, is no. You know, Canelo probably, in my opinion, him and Golovkin, they probably have the greatest chins ever. Ever! We have never seen Golovkin out on his feet, and we have never seen Canelo out on his feet. Canelo once, when he fought not Miguel Cotto, the other Cotto, in his US debut, when he was 19 years old, when he was a kid. If you actually look at the man's body, he looked like a 14-year-old. So the man definitely wasn't fully developed. But, let's get back to the question, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you know what's so beautiful about the sport? You know why we tune in every time when there is a big fight or there is a high stakes matchup? It's because deep down, we think we know what's going to happen. But in all actuality, we don't really know what's going to happen. And that is why all the old schoolers and the old timers say that boxing is the theater of the unknown, or combat sports is the theater of the unknown. It's because how many shocking upsets have we seen in boxing history? Countless. Nearly every single weekend, ladies and gentlemen. On every single card, I read like a stat, and like nearly on every single card, a big upset happens. That is crazy. And that shows you that no matter what history shows and no matter what we think we know, anything can happen in combat sports. Now, Terence Crawford, if you actually think about it, the man has knocked out 10 of his last 11 opponents. This is something that most of us are forgetting. Now, yes, he knocked out smaller men, much smaller men, of course. And the only time where he stepped up to 154, he went to decision. But let me tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. I believe one of the main reasons why Terence Crawford didn't finish Madrimov, I actually rewatched the fight earlier this week. One of the main reasons why Terence Crawford couldn't really knock out Madrimov is because Madrimov simply did not commit at all. The man literally kept feinting all night. And he was throwing single shots. So the man never, ever really put himself in danger to get hurt. And even though Crawford hurt him with combinations and he hurt him to the body late in the fight. But, again, getting back to our question. I don't even know the answer, ladies and gentlemen. Like now, as I'm asking the question, I'm trying to come up with an answer, but I have no idea. I mean, in my opinion, Canelo probably has the best chin I have ever seen. Him and Golovkin. Think about it. And the reason why, one of the main reasons actually why they have an unbelievable chin is because they are always in position to be able to absorb a power shot. They are never off balance. They are never off position to be able to get caught with something that might stagger them. And this is a skill, ladies and gentlemen. And that shows strength in their lower body and hips and neck. And especially, if you actually think about it, both men, when they throw punches and when they absorb punches, their chin is always tucked. They are always in a compact position to absorb power shots, Golovkin and Canelo. And that is why their chin is, we probably never see anything like it. I mean, just like even Marvin Hagler. Why did Marvin Hagler have one of the greatest chins ever? If you actually think, go watch his highlights. Same thing. He actually fights a lot like Golovkin, you know. Both hands up, chin tucked, compact. And this is one of the main reasons, other than genetics of course, on having an iron chin. Now, do I believe that Terence Crawford can like knock out Canelo with one punch? Well, this is going to depend on one main thing. Now, let's be honest, probably not. He's probably not going to knock out Canelo, come on. But what if Canelo is actually underestimating Crawford, which I don't think is the case. But I'm just trying to bring up questions. I'm just trying to give out some interesting takes for us to have a debate. A lot of things will play a factor. I mean, if Canelo gets older overnight and becomes completely shot and takes a lot of punishment in camp and this and that and this, a million factors comes in, then maybe Crawford can put a dent in him. But if the same Canelo that showed up versus Munguia, which I don't believe that was the prime Canelo. If you actually think about it, prime Canelo, Berlanga wouldn't last 3 rounds with Canelo. If you're talking about prime Canelo, Munguia wouldn't last 5 rounds. If you're talking about prime Canelo, John Ryder wouldn't last 3 to 4 rounds. I mean, Nick Blackwell, a European level fighter, knocked out John Ryder. So, if you actually think about it, ladies and gentlemen, both men, it is impossible for them to be in their prime. But they are so elite and they are so good that they can still deliver iconic and great performances at this stage of their careers. So getting back to the question again, I don't believe that Terence Crawford can knock out Canelo Alvarez. Just talking about like knockout. I don't believe that can happen. Now, can Terence Crawford catch Canelo with a shot that he doesn't see? Of course, it's boxing. But more than likely, would it happen? More than likely, no. More than likely, no, because Canelo Alvarez, not only does he have one of the best chins ever, but I don't think that Canelo will walk into any big fight like this underestimating his opponent. Now, on the other hand, can Canelo hurt Crawford? Of course. Can Canelo stop Crawford? Of course. Why? Because Canelo has a better chin and has more power. And this might just very well be the X factor. Crawford might be more savvy when it comes to feints, when it comes to switching stances, when it comes to shot variation, shot selection. But all of that can go out of the window when you get hit with a bomb. So, very interesting fight, very interesting topic if you actually think about it. I mean, just imagine. Let your imagination fly with me. Imagine a sequence where Terence Crawford is exchanging with Canelo, and Canelo thinks that Crawford is going to come up top with a straight shot, but Crawford comes with a shot from underneath. And there's something about Crawford. If you actually think about it, when he dropped Errol Spence in that second knockdown against the ropes, Spence never ever saw that shot come from below because he thought that Crawford was going to shell up and catch and shoot. But Crawford leaned on the ropes, and the way that he was able to generate such power with such small distance, greatness. Now Crawford will be slower in this fight because he is gaining a lot of weight, and it's normal because the man is a human at the end of the day. Of course he's going to become slower when you put on over 20 pounds. But all I'm saying is this: if we truly want to enjoy this fight and make the most out of our enjoyment, we shouldn't rule anything out. Now, more than likely, like I said, I don't think that Crawford's going to knock out Canelo. Crazier things have happened. I mean, it won't be a miracle, you know, but it is definitely far-fetched. I don't believe that Crawford can knock out Canelo, but I do believe that Crawford can discipline Canelo with some shots. like his check hook from the southpaw stance, like his left uppercut from the southpaw stance, like his catch and shoot from the southpaw stance, like his straight right from the orthodox stance. Those few shots from Crawford, they are so powerful and they are so unpredictable and accurate. So anything can happen in this fight. But my goodness, as this fight is getting closer, I'm asking myself so many questions, and the outcomes and the possibilities are endless. And that is why simply, this is one of the greatest fights of all time.